Well, kids, this is a model of a local whaling boat, okay? And I'm just cutting it out. So just look and see what I'm doing, okay? At first, you have to get the lag, cut it out flat, take it to the voice, you mark it out with a saw blade, and then you bring it out here, and that's where you start to cut it out, okay? So this is what I'm gonna do. And you have to be very careful when you're cutting it out. So use the cutlass, and start.
What did you say your name was again?
Benson Phillips.
So how long have you been doing this, Mr. Phillips?
About 22 years.
Tell me the story of how this came to be in your life.
And there was a guy who was walking here, we used to be playing soccer together. So one day he invited me to go into the bush and help him with the gums. And then after that he asked the boss if I can come to the shop and help him. So he gave me the permission, so that's where I started it. Yeah, this is the tree here. So we go to the hill and cut them. No special. We also use both, like white pine and red seed and mahogany.
How do you aim at the wood so good?
Because I'm just accustomed doing it, so it makes it simple for me.
How you get the length so straight?
I mean these lines? Yeah. By using a saw blade.
How did you know that was the right tree to make a boat of this kind?
Well, I'll be honest, there are some older guys, so they probably might know the story, but I come in the shop, meet them with the same thing, the same tree, so just join them and use the same tree.
What is it about the tree that you think is good for making boats?
It's pretty soft to work with, and it lasts for a long time.
What do you know about Bequia's boat history?
Well, growing up in Bequia, there was always people been building schooners, going from St. Vincent to Bequia, from Bequia to Trinidad, from Trinidad to Barbados, you know. And these boats, the whaling boat, I think they were coming under the Scottish, and people from here started building them. They also started building them for like sailing, during our regatta. These are the boats we use during our regatta for sailing. So it comes from a long history.
Were there any sailors in your family?
Yeah, there are sailors in almost every family in Bequia.
Do you sail?
No, I don't.
Why do you like cutting boards from the gum tree?
It's pretty soft to work with.
So there are lots of gum trees in Bequia then?
Right around the islands, we're full of trees, man. And they're easy to grow, right? You just cut the branch and stick it in the earth. 2 years later, you can go and see it.
Do you cut on the entire tree down to the...
When we go to the bush, we cut it right down to the...
Oh, it doesn't grow back from that?
Yeah, it does. But if you use the limb and stick it in, which we had a few years ago, we were planting some trees.
How do you know if the gum is ready, if it's ready when it's part of?
Yeah, by its size, we look at the size of the tree, and then we determine that.
Why do you like making boats?
It's my job, so that's how I make my living.
Why do you write S and B on the boat?
Well, B is for the bow, and S is for the stern.
What are some of the different boats?
That we build, the whale boat, we build like schooners, we build model replicas of people boats. Yeah. We also did a big replica for the Queen Elizabeth in 1985, which I wasn't in the shop at that time, but it was done here in the shop.
And how long would it take you to make, let's say, one of the whaling boats?
It takes about 1 month to build one of the whaling boats. Some of the tools, first the cutlass, we have the mark and gauge. We have like 2 different planes, the jack plane and the smoothing plane. We have the square, pliers, hammer, so many different.
What is the best glue you to have boat?
The plane. The plane are pretty good in carving boat.
How long would you
What's the
say?
name of that one?
A marking gauge. An old school
How
marking.
long would you say it would take to dug out all the wood inside the middle?
You mean here?
Yeah.
I mean, like, just about a half an hour or two. It's not really much.
So after you finish carving out the boat, what do you do?
Put it in the sun to dry. If you look down the step, you see there's some there drying.
How do you know when it's ready, when it's drying?
Well, it takes like 2-3 weeks to dry.
Oh, that's why it takes a month to make one.
No, but it even it takes more time working on it, you know. Because remember when you're using glue, you have to stick and then let it dry properly. Yeah, and then painting takes a lot of time.
What substance do you use to make it look shiny?
We use the paint makes it look shiny.
Okay, so the stage you just experienced at the guided outside, and you reach the stage. We will now put it into this manual machine, which we call a voice. So it grips the boat and hold it in firmly like that. So then we take a tool called a plane. This is considered a small one, and then we will shape it like this. So we keep planing, and when we have enough of that in and this in, we shape it and we come like this. Then we will take a pencil, and we know how the whaling boat is shaped. This is our local boat, the whaling boat. This is called a double ender. Two ends looks the same. And we will shape the hull like this and the bow like that. So if you look at it closely, you see here it's more square here and it's more pointed here. This is bow and this is stern. This is the back of the boat and this is the front of the boat. Then we take out the inside after we finish planing it up, shape it like this. We take out the inside. So after this stage, we use a chisel and we will sit and pong out the inside, take out the inside. And then we use what is called a gouge to make it smooth. And then we put it in the sun to dry for about 3 weeks to 1 month. Then we start working on them to different stages. I will show you the stage that we go after. We don't have an immediate one, but I'll give you an idea. Excuse me. So we'll progress to this stage. So after the inside is out and it's dry for about 3 weeks, then the bay boat will be like that, and then we put what is called timbers in. And then
Are those carved or glued?
yeah, they are gluing. Yeah, separately. We have to take our time and cut them very small, and then we put them in with small common pins and glue, so they stick to the boat. And then before we do that, we mark it with a marking gauge, so it will look like plank. So if you look closely, you'll see it look like plank. The gauge in line, like separate wood. This is how the original boats look.
How long would it take to make that to that?
Oh, from this stage to this stage, maybe about 3 days, because you have to take out this. Well, more than 3 days, because you have to put it in the sun to dry for 3 weeks, and then we start come to this stage. So from here to here, you could say a month. And then these are all laminated. These are different woods. Remember, this is the gum wood, the local wood, which is the hull, which is this, and these others we import. So here we have mahogany. This is white pine, and this is purple heart. It's a very hard wood. So we join them together and we call them lamination. So they are all natural wood put together. Then after this stage, we'll varnish them about 4 times, and then we prepare to mark them with a blade. Give you an idea? One person will sit and they will hold the blade like this, and another person will hold the end of the blade, and we take a knife and we mark them. If you want to put 2 lines, 3 lines, you put lines in them. Give you an example of the lines. So this is the purpose for the lines, so that we can just paint a straight line on it and divide the colors red and blue. And usually we put yellow on the strip here. So this is considered one of the small whaling boats. So when we complete them, we put about 4 coats of paint on them, and when they are finished, we will put a hole in this mast, this seat, to put the mast in, because it's going to be a sailing boat. And I'll bring you one of them. So after we finish put the 4 coats on, we'll put the mast up, and the mast is made from mahogany wood, and this is cotton polyester cloth that we use, and we mark the sail. Now each person do their own boat from start to finish, so you have to make the sail, you have to paint the boat, and then you put the name of the builder. This is actually one of my boats. I'm Timothy Sargeant, so you have to put the name of the builder.
Where did you find all of those woods and you wanted to show?
The woods, we import them. Like for the mahogany, come from Honduras, the white pine from Canada.
So you give something to one of these countries and they give you.
Yeah, well, not really. The lumber yard import them, and we go and purchase the wood from them. Yeah, that's how we get the wood. So I can remember if I mentioned the vice to you. This is a very old vice that my father used to use. My father was a tradesman, used to build houses. So I'm not exactly how we got this, but it's from England originally, and it's about 150 years, and it still works perfectly. It's all solid steel. It's very, very useful.
Your father used to build boats too?
No, he used to build houses. I learned from my older brothers. And I'll show you where the idea came from before my brother started building this. Now this is where everything was initiated from. Coconut shell boat that my older brothers used to sail on the water just for fun when they were really small kids. 7, 8, 9, about these children age, just for fun on the water. Then they look at the bigger boats coming into the harbor, and it come to their imagination, they can make something looking like them. So that's how we started advancing to this stage. So the most famous boat we did in the shop here is for Queen Elizabeth. The second one, she was here in 1985, 27th of October. She actually visited the island, and my brother presented the boat to her as a gift. And it was purchased by James Mitchell at that time. He was the Prime Minister. So he got the plans, photograph unknown to the Queen from the palace, and he contacted my brother, and he organized to build the boat. Took him about 8 months to complete. Everyday walking. I also had a part in it, just helping him doing certain things on the boat.
How much did they even try to purchase it for?
I'm not sure. That I'm not sure of. I guess approximately maybe 6,000 US about, or 5, because it's a lot of work, eh?
So if it's 6,000 in US, how much would it be in Easter?
About 16,000. It's a lot of patient work, took him about 8 months, so everyday working. So we also make other models for people as well. They just bring their pictures and the plans, and we make boats for them. In the front, I could give you an example of one we did. But before we go to the front, I'll give you an idea of a different type of local boat we have, which is the schooner.
How long did it take to build it?
It took about 4.5 months.
4.5 months?
4.5 months, yeah. Working on just that. So these are model of our boats that we used to have here. In the 1960s, they used to use through the islands. They are called gaff rig schooners. The gaff rig is come from here. That's why you call the gaff. So that's the kind of rig it carries. And it used to transport like cargoes and passengers to the islands. The most famous one we had here in Bequia was Friendship Rose. And it's still around, but it doesn't run as a ferry anymore. It gets pushed out of the competition because of the different ferries that you're seeing presently. And now it carried the charter to the Grenadines. It's a sailing boat as well. It's a motorboat and a sailing boat.
Is it this one?
No, one similar, it's called Friendship Rose. It's in the harbour, it's a white. And it's called a schooner because the front mast is shorter than the back one. So this is a gaff rig schooner.
So how long that used to take from mainland to Bequia?
Approximately an hour.
Same time as these ones.
Yeah. Well, the fast ferry take much less than that now.
That's an hour on wind or engine?
Boat. Always using boat every day. And just one trip to the mainland. 6:30, come back 1 o'clock, and that's it.
How much people could it hold?
Approximately 100. Okay, so that's another local boat we have that we copy of, schooner and the whaling boat. Okay, so we can go to the front now. Yeah, so this is another replica I did for someone. It's actually for the owner of the boat. He gave me some pictures and plan, and I built the model of his boat. Put in all of the details on. Have to do the inside. If you look closely, you will see the sink, you will see the oven, the fridge, everything inside. And this took me 5 months to do. Everyday walk. Yeah, everyday walking.
Was this the boat from? You just told me that.
The material I use is white pine, and this is mahogany.
Was this?
And everything, it's a while, eh? Everything is made from wood. The wheels I make from wood. This I made from wood. The wrench is from wood. And this is actually glass for the glass box, and this is actually glass for the windows. And the material here is the same canvas that they will use on the the natural boat, the big boat. Same canvas sail. I have to go to the sail maker to get this done. Very expensive as well.
What is this the boat that there's a story that goes from Bequia to
No, this is a different boat completely. This is one that comes to the harbor. You will see many of them. They are called catamaran. Catamaran because it's two boats in one.
Did the owner get it?
Hmm?
Did the owner get it?
I had to ship it to Miami for the owner. So for shipping, we take the masts down and we pack them in a cardboard box like this, and then we make a wooden box to pack them so they go very safe. And we will send them DHL or FedEx. And it takes about 3 to 4 days to get from here to Miami, which is in the US.
So when did you start making it?
Well, I had finished it now about maybe 4 or 5 months, but the owner is not ready for it yet. He will let me know when time to ship it, and then I ship it to Miami.
Is it just for ornament in your house?
Yeah, well actually it's his boat. So if he sell it, he could have this in his house to remind him about the boat that he had. Just for a souvenir. So actually the shop itself been going almost 60 years now.
So what?
Even built. So I learned from my older brothers.
What is the most expensive wood on the boat you use?
The most expensive wood, I think is the mahogany, which we imported from the lumber yard.
What material did you use to build the seats?
The
seat.
seat, that's a white pine.
Is that glass or?
Yeah, this is glass right here.
And the seats, is that glass?
Oh no, those are wood and we paint them. So it's actually leather on the boat, sponge that you can sit on, so we make it look the same from wood. So if the owner tell me he wants it to sail on the water, I have to make a longer keel and then put lead under it. So you keep it balanced, it will just sail on the water really fast. So mainly these boats, it's tourists that comes by and purchase them for souvenirs.
How much?
The smallest one we have about 250 US, and the most expensive one presently 6,000 US.
How much is 200 US and EC?
It's $534 easy. So you can tell your parents to save some money and get.
What was that boat made? That looks cool. That boat looks cool.
Yeah, this one. Yeah, I did that one for the owner as well.
Isn't that one in Hamilton?
One similar to it.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is merely a fishing boat.
I saw it in Hamilton.
Or coming in on the boat.
No, in Hamilton. On the grass.
Oh, it's full up. Okay.
So basically, you could build any boat that somebody wants.
You could say that. Yeah.
So them two boats over there that our owner has and they wanted a replica.
Yeah. Those are some of the boats that we did before.
So what was the longest time you had to make a boat? How long?
Let me show you this one here. It took me 7.5 months to do this one. This is similar to that, but it have much more work, much more detail.
7.5 months?
Yeah.
Oh my goodness. Did the seller then get it?
Yeah. I ship it to them. Yeah.
Which year?
Which year? Approximately 5 years ago.
Ooh, 5 years ago.
Yeah.
So
It's 2020, correct.
2020. Okay. What is the smallest boat you ever made?
The smallest boat, about let me show you. This one. And it's gonna look similar to that one. This one will be maybe 100 US.
I stay 100 US. Just for that.
No, it's plenty. I had to do everything on it and paint it and put the seal on like that.
Is that what is the biggest boat you ever made?
The biggest one?
How much?
Well, I shipped it a long time ago.
You don't have a picture.
Hmm? Those small ones are 40 US.
Ooh, cheap. Cheap and easy. That's 100 EC.
Mm-hmm, the same thing.
I'll show it out. How long did it take for you to make
The small one
the whale tail?
with the whale tail. Let me see what you're speaking about.
Yeah.
Oh, the one at the end there?
Yeah.
Oh, about 3 days.
3
Yeah. Yeah, shaping it, sandpapering it, and painting it.
How long did it take to make all of these boats inside of him?
Well, I can't really tell exactly how long, but like 3 days for each one. Sometimes I work on 2 and 3 at the same time. And those are magnets.
Magnets?
Yeah, they can just stick onto the fridge. The boats, and those are half.
Yeah, they said 50. How much for one of these? Go straight up.
This is about the smallest one, 250.
250?
380. The bigger one's about 1300.
How much is 1300 easy?
1300 will be just over 3000.
So how long did it take to build that one over there?
That one I think about 6 months.
I'm talking about
The one in the back?
yeah.
Yeah.
6 months. The big one in the back?
Yeah.
That's so big.
What do you mean the old ones? The one that we built and was there for a long time?
Yeah, maybe like
Only like those on the top there. Yeah, just those on the top. Those just built a long time ago. We had about 5 of them. Some body part is 3 of them.
I still can't understand how he built this. And it looks
But-
so good too.
Yeah, well, that's my talent, so.
Because they say everybody makes mistakes. But no, not
Who are you representing?
Lower Bay School Inc.
How was your experience this morning?
Very good.
What did you learn today?
How to make boats. I invite you to come to the boat building shop.
I want to invite all you to come to the boat shop.